Warning: the following video will contain language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, this video will be talking about topics that some might feel is controversial, such as hypersensitivity, Earth's magnetic field, various aspects of what might be touched into people's religions and abilities to perceive certain energies, as well as what people would think of as psychic energy and magic. If any of these things disturb you, or you find that you don't want to experience them, stop watching now. For everybody else, hey guys, Dave here. And you know me, comedian, weirdo, and author of the Book of Biospiritual Yum Yum Goodness. Currently on sale in paperback and ebook form on the Amazon Kindle store, CreateSpace, Amazon.com, as well as many other various bookstore websites. Well, I started having ideas for things I was going to do in a separate book, and one day I'd like to do this, but I wrote something that, in all consideration, is an addendum to my current book. I even call it a Yum Yum Addendum. If you follow the link down in the video description, you can actually go to the official book Facebook page, and you can read it yourself if you'd like to. Now, this is going to be an audiobook reading of my latest chapter, and I think it's important. Now, I combine insight and humor and a lot of dirty language, so it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I try to do it in a way that everyone can try to relate to. So, hopefully, you can get something enjoyable out of it, and I hope it spurs discussion and heated thought about what we could do to try to fix the problem that I've discovered. So, I hope you enjoy. Please pass this around to all your friends that like to look into various mysteries and to wonder about the nature of what we are and the world we live in. Now, without further ado, I give you my Yum Yum Addendum about Earth's magnetic fields called When the Magic Fades. When I wrote my book, I wanted it to be full of ideas and humor, positive discussion, and sharing perspectives. I wanted to cover things that were funny as well as serious, to accentuate the positive and to give thought and humor to the negative. It's important to be able to laugh things off, to take back power from that which can royally suck ass. Lately, I haven't been in the most positive of moods or mindsets, but I've had plenty of friends there to boost me up. For that, I am thankful. Thank you all. I can't express that enough, seriously. Lately, though, I've been reminded of a theory that I've had for some time, but it may be more important than ever to touch upon it. And unfortunately, I don't immediately have a positive spin or angle to cover it. No easy answer to give it. And again, this is why we have discussions. We talk about things we're curious about, try to brainstorm, brainstorm ideas in order to fix the problems. And this is no different. We love a mystery, the spooky, the unknown. We try to explore it, decipher the clues, put the pieces of the puzzle together in an answer that makes sense. Now, maybe I'm feeling the urge to bring this up because somewhere out there the pieces may fit. It may bring people together to process and find a solution that I can't. Or, at least, to put the word out and try to inform others. In fact, I'm positive my friends are more than capable of that. I throw around the words emotional hypersensitive because it's how modern science classifies, understands, and accepts what others would call empaths. The sensitive ones, the people that pick up more from their surroundings. This also delves into the realms of extrasensory perception, sensing emotions, thoughts, flashes of visions, precognition, warning of danger, and more. This opens the door so that people that have always felt things and are real to them can come forward to discuss logically how they may work. I also refer to that ability to sense electromagnetic fields as well as altering them as electromagnetic channeling, or EMC for short. It is my belief that chi, ki, prana, magic, psychic abilities, prayer, even the power of positive thinking may all be the same thing. The only differences are the people that are using them, the culture that views their use and applications, and how they're accepted. Now, we're all capable of tuning into energies around us. People, plants, animals, even the environment. We're surrounded and bombarded by energy all around us. All the time. It happens so much that we take it for granted. We subconsciously tune in and accept things this way as normal. The thing is, people keep bringing up an observation that no one has a real answer for it. Everyone I know of, myself included, admit that things feel different than they used to. Certain intuitions may seem to be spotty. Others are amped up and sporadically. Have you ever noticed how some of your senses, gut feelings, etc., seem to be getting stronger, but others you used to rely on are fading or virtually non-existent? It seems to have been happening the last few years. No one can put an exact finger on it. However, I grew up on comic books and superheroes, teaching me to think outside the box. So, I have an observation and a hypothesis. If I'm right, every one of us need to give it some serious thought. All around the world, there are places of power called ley lines. They're geomagnetic lines of power that run through and across the earth like stitches on a baseball. When two or more meet, they're called a nexus point. In many cultures, these places of power also have spiritual, metaphysical attributes. Some call them spirit lines, dragon roads, places where the living and dead can commune, things like that. Many people believe we're supposed to be in a new age of enlightenment, but turning on the news, it seems like the only light coming on is the millions of pixels on a flat-screen TV. Everyone keeps talking about how it's a time of transition, of awakening. But how the hell can that be the case when our senses keep going up and down, becoming less reliable? What's causing it? The bad news is, I think I know. Scientists say that the Earth's magnetic field is weakening. I'm sure you've heard this on a shitload of conspiracy videos or TV shows. People are saying that the Earth field could flip any day now. Others are saying not to panic. It should be fine for at least a century or more. Why worry about something you won't be around to see? Earth's magnetosphere is a force field, keeping harmful solar and cosmic rays out. As it weakens, more energy gets in, more radiation, and who knows what the end result could be. Cancer, mutations, cosmic rays that people are examining the effects of as we speak. It's a lot of doom and gloom. I can understand why some try to tune it out or use it for fanning the flames of paranoia and preppers spending money on their products. And once again, I haven't heard many people talking or putting the pieces together of the puzzle like I seem to have. Earth's magnetic field isn't just weakening. It's weakening faster than predicted. Years ago, they predicted a gradual decline, about 10% every 100 years. More recent analysis of 2014 says it's actually depleting faster, getting 10% weaker every 10 years. Sure, people are worried about a pole shift, solar particles, taking out the electrical grid. All important. But let's look at another perspective. Ley lines are geomagnetic lines of power. People associate them with psychic and magical power. The closer you are on them, or more powerful the lines or nexus points, the more in tune with things you should be. So, doesn't that mean if Earth's magnetic field is weakening, and these places are associated with magic, then the magic should be fading? I know, no one likes to think about the weird stuff seriously, unless it's a problem that they are personally dealing with. Well, I think global draining of something we tap into and use every day is a big fucking personal problem. Like I said, I tried explaining that science and metaphysical topics can meet if one is willing to bridge the two. Find some underlying perspectives to latch onto and build upon from there. Please bear with me and let me try to make some sense out of this. Now, we all know that we create our own electromagnetic fields. It's our body's energies. We interact with other living things and their fields. All the while, Earth's magnetosphere is both protecting us from outside harm and is connecting us together as part of its own field. We're used to it, take it for granted. But now, what happens when Earth's field weakens? If we're all interconnected to it, then the connection starts to break down. If it's like an energy circuit, then it's having a hard time reaching quite as far or carrying a signal strongly as it used to. At the same time, as Earth's field weakens, you start to take more notice of your own. Without the power of the magnetosphere to protect or insulate between our other fields, you may find yourself more vulnerable. Things you used to shrug off like they're things you used to shrug off feel like they're getting through more. A coworker or someone close to you can say something hurtful, or their presence can be so strong and domineering it can feel overwhelming. Why? Because your own field is used to being supported and supplemented by something else, Earth's magnetosphere. Because of that, you become more aware of your own energy and the energies interacting or penetrating with your own field. Think about it. You could have a strong feeling about someone you know face to face. Your fields can react, then they make an impact on you. You connect on certain levels. Maybe you can even read someone just by seeing them and you sync up. But be careful. It's like a muscle. Too much, too hard, or too fast, you feel pained, strained, overloaded. Meanwhile, there are times you used to have feelings about long-lost relatives or have regular feelings that you knew something was going to happen. Lately, you may not be getting them as often, or it feels like you can't depend on them like you used to. You have to emit more of your own energy just to get what used to be the same result some time ago. Did you do something wrong? Maybe not. Maybe the conduit you're used to using for calculating the possibilities in the future or longer distances is getting weaker. When what you're used to fades away, you can feel disconnected, upset, even desperate. So think about it. We're becoming more aware of our own energies and our limits. Meanwhile, things we used to take for granted are shorting out. The normal locations one relies on for feeling connected with the world around them are depleting. We may actually have to seek these places of power out in the future just to get that feeling of being part of something like we're used to. More sensitive to our own fields, feeling more vulnerable and more aggressive energies and threats around us, all while feeling like we've lost touch with something. It may make us feel desperate, taking more chances, or doing something stupid. Doesn't that sound more and more like the world we seem to be living in? Some people complain that oversensitive people are getting butthurt over things, while others are losing their damn minds, doing horrible acts because they think it's the only way to get across to people. For some, it's a bad meme and a story on CNN. But what if this simple little hypothesis of mine is right? Now, I know we're more connected on a technological sense. Telecommunications, television, the internet, all of these things help. Perhaps, on a subconscious level, mankind made these developments to act as an artificial surrogate for the more subtle energy field we're used to interacting with. Now, of course, too much of Wi-Fi or strong magnetic fields could do more harm than good on its own, so just be careful. I don't want a rash of cancers to go up because we can't stop streaming cat videos or porn. Oh, look! It's another reference from my book. Kitty titties! You'll have to read the book for the inside joke, or just ask me. Stop looking at me like that! Anyway, that's part of the big message here. If I'm right, Earth's magnetic field is weakening, and it's part of what's causing this amplification of some senses, while others need to be bolstered or improved upon. I've been trying to think about how to repair the Earth, how to better prepare and strengthen ourselves for what's to come. Unfortunately, although I can speculate on what might be, I can't see it. I can't tell exactly when anything will happen, or how much worse it'll be before it gets better. And admittedly, not having those answers doesn't feel like it ends on a good note. The answer in and of itself definitely doesn't feel yum-yum. However, all I can do is try to focus on the positive. 1. We're not completely screwed. The sun's magnetic field has been strengthening as Earth's weakens. I could be wrong, but I believe the last estimation said it had increased at about 12% over the last 70 years. So it's protecting us a bit more from interstellar radiation, just less of the local stellar kind. Some studies have also determined that when Earth's magnetic field is weakened before, plant life on Earth has increased growth production, and DNA seems to have started to change in better ways. Plants and vegetables grown on the International Space Station are growing larger and healthier when exposed to more cosmic rays. I like the hope of this, but I still remember how some superheroes get powers due to cosmic rays, not to mention making horrible movies. Ugh. So let's just hope for the best, and not for radiation changing anyone's genitalia into something resembling a rock lobster. 2. Learn about yourself. This is the perfect opportunity to find time to find out how your senses work, how intensely you feel things, how to heal and strengthen yourself, and what your limits are. People are finding out some pretty wonderful things that we're all capable of. You just have to be open-minded about them. Don't overdo it. Just learn about you. Don't be afraid to explore your senses, your feelings, and what your experience fits into your own beliefs or your other views. Better yet, explore how this might fit into someone else's views. Not in a prejudicial way, but think outside your box for a little bit. It might do you some good. Plus, one of the best things to come out of Earth's weakening field is you're becoming more and more aware of your own strengths. Analyze what you're capable of. Keep in mind what you used to be able to do with effort and what takes more. Just because some things are harder doesn't mean your gifts are gone. You just have to be smarter and more efficient in how you use them. 3. Take care of yourself. I know that hopping online is a good surrogate for human contact, but I remember a story where a kid put plants next to a Wi-Fi router and the plants died. Part of taking care of yourself isn't just knowing when to plug in and escape, but to unplug and let your body rest. Remember, your body's going to be exposed to various electromagnetic noise and pollution. It can take a lot out of you. Check into ways to minimize your exposure to various radiations, and look for healthy foods and supplements to help your body repair the damage being done. Yes, it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but your own field, your aura, can also have good and bad days. Learn what to let go of, when to do so, and how to find a balance. And don't be afraid to stop tuning in with your senses all the time. Unplugging and chilling out can be a huge benefit. 4. Be around good people. I'm not even kidding. This may be one of the most important steps I could recommend. Since our usual interactions with Earth's field and our own may be depleting, we're going to have to rely more and more on what kinds of connections we make with people. And forget about the walking toxic motherfuckers that drain you just by being in the room. I'm talking about the ones you have common ground with and have mutual interests. You'll be bouncing energy back and forth between each other and getting better at it the more you do it. In fact, as an emotional hypersensitive, try to be mindful of where your energy ends and theirs begins. You know how some people make you feel better just by being around you? You already know the feeling is a good vibe. Just try expanding on the nuances of it. Perfect example. There is an incredible performance troupe out of Orlando called Phantasmagoria. They do a Victorian steampunk spooky show that feels more like an old school street performance meets a kick-ass carnival. They do classic horror stories, dancing, fire dancing, belly dancing. There's a lot of dancing. But they're genuinely some of the coolest, nicest people you could run into. They're performers and excellent actors, but it's not an act. The head of the troupe is a thoughtful gentleman and truly cares about people. The show can go from Dickens and Poe to Krampus and Lovecraft. The audience is pulled in, sending their energy to the performers. They bring the tales to life and send the energy back. There's a vibe about them that is classy, fun, and a joy to interact with. I never know whether to call my friend by his real name or his stage persona, but do your own homework. Phantasmagoria is just a badass, spooky boost of positive vibes. I know it sounds contradictory, but I'm also a guy who thinks that a good love story is Cloverfield. Seriously, being in touch with good people online is good to keep connections alive, but face-to-face, person-to-person, contact and sharing interest is a good thing, and the troupe personify that. Now I'm thinking about the lovely belly dancer and the headscarf. Yes, Lord! Sorry, the blood left my skull there for a sec. Moving on. 5. take care of each other. Just as important as taking care of oneself, you need to be good to one another. The world's getting crazier and more violent. People keep lashing out and lives ruined or lost. The world needs less of that, and remembering the people that are important in your life. Friends, family, loved ones, co-workers, performers, people that are part of the same groups, etc. Excuse me. And even better, you can look out for those that may not be so well off. This is our home. We're all going through some upheaving shit in a chaotic time. Now more than ever, we need to know who has our backs, who's open to helping one another, and do more of that. 6. Don't be afraid to learn and discuss. I know it's going to suck. We don't know what's coming. Our own abilities to accurately sense it may be skewed, but it's only part of the equation. You have perfectly good brains. Don't forget to use logic and reason. Listen to each other. Explore new ideas. Keep an ear out. Do you think I like telling you that Earth's magnetic field is weakening? Any day now it could fade or flip, and I have no fucking clue what's going to happen? Hell no! All I know is I prefer to have answers. I know mankind and life on this world have survived it happening before. We may not have any written history of it, but it has happened. And if they can do it, so can we. But we need to be open to new and different points of view. Everyone can agree on trying to find answers. We may not always find the right ones, but the more people try to make sense of this mystery, the more we can look out for one another. I could speculate, and I'm sure I'll add to this later on, but I look forward to having discussions, sharing ideas, perspectives, and trying to get more input on this. It's a gaping hole that needs to be talked about. No matter what your faith or lack thereof, we're still people. We need to look out for each other. You know what I believe in? Humanity. Because I know for a fact that it exists. Let's try to keep it that way, shall we? Well, what are you waiting for? Come on, discuss. Oh, you're checking out Phantasmagoria videos? Okay, well, after you're done then. Just don't be disappointed when you come to mine on YouTube singing a tribute to them. With a puppet. Damn it, I told you not to look at me like that. Yum yum!